sure while it was happening, there were all these attempts in the media to use it as a sort of diagnostic moment, to say, where are women right now? How do young women feel about feminism? How does the way that young women are voting tell us about whether feminism is dead, whether it's succeeded, whether it's not? They did the same thing with race. What does the election of Obama tell us about where we are with regard to race? Now, we all know that, of course, this soundbitey stuff is reductive. But to me, it was also fundamentally wrong because what it wasn't taking into account was that these events were shaping and changing where we were. They were not just this moment where we could take the temperature. They were shifting the temperature. They were making women of all ages and colors, men of all ages and colors, think differently about the history of social progress and about the future of the country. There are other ways in which it allowed us to really cast our vision forward. This was perhaps especially true when it came to conversations about intergenerational feminism. I don't know how many of you, who knows who was supporting who, but I don't know how many of you had conversations in your life about who old women were supporting and who young women were supporting and what the differences were. And one of the things I saw and could recognize, because I'd been covering gender politics for several years at this point, was that these were conversations that women were desperate to have. Not just about Hillary Clinton. They'd been desperate to have these conversations for years. Young women, you don't take your rights seriously. You're not grateful for what we have done. Don't you understand how imperiled your reproductive rights are? Don't you understand how lucky you are that you get to have these opportunities? Young women, listen, I understand how lucky I am. Just because I'm voting for Hillary Clinton doesn't mean I'm not interested in gender progress. This is part of the liberation that you won for me. These were really intense conversations, and people got to have them and got to express both sides of this thanks to the candidacy of Hillary Clinton. What Sarah Palin taught us about the future is also fascinating, because when she arrived on the scene, what we saw was an enthusiasm for feminism coming from the right, the side that, in fact, had not previously laid claim to women's liberation and had, in some spheres, really put distance, rejected it. But here you had women on the right talking about feminism, their brand of feminism, and that, by the way, is going on right now. If you look at the candidacies, so many prominent Republican women in the news, from Carly Fiorina and Michelle Bachmann to Meghan McCain and Liz Cheney. The Republican Party is trying to become the party of women, and what that will mean will also have reverberations within feminist spheres, because what that means is redefining feminism without reproductive rights being a core value. That could change the whole scope of what we talk about when we talk about gender politics in this country. I think that that's one of the reasons it's really important to not lose the story and to say, what did this story teach us, both about where we've been, how far we've come, and also how did it change us and how did it alter what our future is going to be. And so that's what I'm attempting to start to do in this book.